decided to start filming tomorrow's video today because tomorrow I'm going to wake up quite early. The start is at 8:30, so I'm probably going to get up around 6, and it tends to be quite chaotic on a race morning and not much time for filming, so I thought I can just do this now. So for this half marathon, I don't really have any specific pace goals or time goals. I've only really done one half marathon race before in October last year in Rome. In that race, I ran 1:39 and then my hamstring tore in the last kilometer and I ended up getting injured for the next 4 months. So whatever beats that, I'll be happy with tomorrow. The course is a bit hilly. I'm not really used to hilly courses, so I think there is sort of a big incline from the 4th until the 6th kilometer, and then it sort of goes downhill from there. So I'm just gonna try to not go out too fast and try to just start conservatively for the first half and then see how I feel. My watch currently says my prediction is 1:32. I don't know if I can run that fast. Honestly, anything below 1:35 I'll be happy with, but I'll just see how it goes. I think after that hill, I'm just going to see how my legs feel and how fast I can actually run for the rest of the race. The weather forecast keeps changing every like 10 minutes, so I'm not really sure how the weather is going to look like tomorrow, but fingers crossed it's not going to be rainy and it's not going to be too windy, and then I see you tomorrow. So this is definitely not what I thought this video would end like, but here we are. So basically the race started quite well. I mean, we got to the starting line a bit late because the buses were all full and there wasn't really any extra buses for the half marathon. So we got to the start line, I think around 7:40, and then I did my warm up and everything. I got changed and then I was at the start line at 8:10. The organization was a bit chaotic and I was also put in the wrong wave, so I had to go to another wave and everything was a bit messy, but I made it there in time. The race started. The first couple of kilometers were a bit hard because the streets were quite narrow. They only blocked one lane and there was cars on the other lane, but there was also cars parked on the lane that we were running. So for this amount of people, I think it was a bit too narrow and I had to go around a lot of people in the beginning. So that was not ideal, but it was okay. I was going very well on my pace that I wanted to go. Then the hill on like around 5 and 6 kilometers went also quite well. It wasn't too bad on my legs. I felt quite good. I went around a lot of people and then I became a bit more spread out, so it was a lot easier to run. The course itself was a bit chaotic. There was a lot of different turns and uphills, downhills. I think it was all going quite well up until the part where we sort of exited the park, and it was sort of a short turn and the downhill along the water up until the very end. I think it was around kilometer 14, and once I took that turn I could feel something in my leg just like snap. I didn't really want to stop because I was so close, so I just slowed down a little bit and my quad was hurting so much, and I tried to jog a little bit for the next couple of kilometers, like 3 kilometers I think. But it just kept getting worse. It got to the point where I just couldn't really walk anymore. So I just decided that there's no point of doing anything else. I don't think I would have made it to this finish line anyways. That was around 18 to 19 kilometers, so close to finish line. but I was already going quite slow for the last 2 or 3K at that point. So I just decided that I have to stop. The issue was that all the streets were blocked, so I had to walk over to a street where there was an adjacent street where the taxis could go on, so I could get a taxi to get back home. It took some time, but I managed to get back home finally. But at that point, I knew that my quad has either torn or at least was pulled like a lot. I'm not entirely sure what happened because they didn't see a physio yet, but yesterday I just got back home and just put a lot of ice on it and then did some compression and ice, and it seems to be helping a little bit. I'm not sure why it was hurting so much. I can still feel it a lot. I didn't really do much movement yesterday for the rest of the day or today, and I think I'm just gonna keep resting for the next couple of days and see how it develops. Hopefully it's not too bad and hopefully it's not that serious, but at that moment it just felt really, really painful. So sort of a similar thing happened to me last time I was doing a half marathon in Rome. Like I said, I have torn my hamstring. It was a lot closer to the finish line. It was a couple hundred meters to the finish, so I could jog and then stop after the finish line there. But yesterday I still had a couple of kilometers, which I just physically couldn't do. So I'm not sure why this keeps happening. 2 out of the 2 half marathons that I have tried. Running both sort of ended with the same type of injury. I'm not sure if it was the hills or what it was, because at that point I feel like I was warmed up quite well as it was around 2/3 into the race. So I really don't know what the issue is. I've never had that happen to me in any of the marathons I've run, any of the 5Ks, 10Ks, so it's a bit of a random distance, but I'm really not sure. I'm trying to figure out what happened and basically trying to rest and recover and try to get back to training as soon as I can and try to heal my injury as soon as I can. I'm a bit sad about not being able to finish the half marathon because I was looking forward to it for a long time and I was going right on my paces. I think I was going quite well. It was quite a hard course because there was a lot of uphills. Like I said, it was a lot of turns. The beginning was quite hard with a lot of people going around. And after all these hard parts, there was basically like this big downhill towards the finish. So I basically done all the hard part and didn't manage to get to the finish line. Well, anyways, there's another half marathon 9 weeks from now in Dublin as well, which I signed up for. So hopefully this one will be better for me. For now, I'll just take some time to recover and not do any running anytime soon. This bike also has to wait a couple more days for me to enjoy it, but I'll just see you in the next video.